Slightly different vlog update today. I'm walking now to BBC Radio Sussex, and I'm about to go on BBC Radio Sussex breakfast show to promote Orchestra and my sponsorship page for the Brighton Marathon. So getting slightly nervous now, but also ready for it, and got a few things I want to hit in my head. I want to say I just want to relax and let it flow. So let's see how it goes. 8:30 on air at 8:40. We are in the waiting room, in the blue room I suppose, ready to go on. So deep breaths, calm down, drink some water.
That also this weekend.
Brighton Marathon Heroes.
The Brighton Marathon.
On BBC Sussex.
Full coverage on Sunday of this, and we are counting down to it this week. Thousands of runners taking part, and for our next guest, running the marathon is really the end of a rather amazing journey. Dan Bloomfield's life was ruled by alcohol. He consumed at one point as much as 2 litres of vodka a day, but he's beaten his addiction. He's used a bit of music, a bit of mindfulness, and he's running for the New Note Orchestra, which we'll talk about in just a second. And Dan's in the studio. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Thank you for joining us. God,
No problem.
you got to a pretty low point, didn't you?
I did, yes, I did. It was quite a struggle to get out, but
How did you get into it? What was it? There's obviously all sorts of triggers, I suppose.
yeah, just the relationship I had with myself and the way I dealt with stress. And I was also a perfectionist, and those 3 combinations really sort of just exacerbated the way I respected myself. And it was a very, very, very slow process. It was not quick. Yeah. I ended up in rehab when I was 36, 37, and I always compare it to the global warming graph. My sort of drinking starts off a long period just flat, and then it slowly builds, and then suddenly it gets to a point of no return, and that's where I ended up.
Does that mean that some of your friends and family recognise it before you do?
I like to think they didn't, but I'm sure they did. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they do. Yeah, it really, really affected my wife, who thankfully has stuck with me and is still with me today.
That's pretty remarkable, really, isn't it?
It is. It is,
because there's so many, relationships which are ruined by
yeah, I mean, most people I met in rehab, their relationships were totally broken and destroyed, and it was very, very hard work for them even to make contact with friends or family.
Wow. Because
they'd burnt all their bridges. But no, I mean, when I went into rehab, I was just expecting to make it through each day. I almost died. I got acute pancreatitis from drinking so much vodka, and I was in hospital 3 times in 2014, and yeah, I physically I mentally couldn't stop. My brain got into such a state where it was the first thing I thought of when I woke up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make it past 9 without having a drink.
Wow, what a journey you've been on.
I'm a very different person now, though.
Yeah. Running, a lot of people say running really helps the mind, don't they?
It does. It's just it naturally releases all the chemistry that gets your body feeling positive and good. And not just physically, mentally as well. The ramifications it has on your mental health is fantastic. And that is exactly why I started running. I started running on Christmas Day in 2014 in rehab, because I wanted something positive to do while I was alone in rehab, basically.
Yeah.
So I went out and I went for a run, and I just felt as if, well, for a start, my body was beginning to physically recover enough to go outside, because my body was in a bad state. But then on top of that, I just felt good afterwards, and the benefits it had to my body and to my mental health was immediately obvious. So from then, I very, very slowly built it up to where I am now, about to run Brighton Marathon 2008.
Good luck. You're doing it for the New Note Orchestra. We've spoken about them before, but it's an orchestra for people like you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's an orchestra for people recovering from drug and alcohol addiction and mental health, and it's been absolutely life-changing for me. It really has. It's been something that I've been part of since the start, and it's, it and I have grown together, and it's really, really flourishing. We put on concerts quarterly. We've just got we've done a couple of concerts recently, and we've got this new piece called Solace, which we've performed live, which is accompanying a film piece, and the orchestra plays live to the film piece.
You're raising money for bells and whistles and all sorts of things.
Oh yeah,
for the orchestra. Give us where, if people want to find out more about
Absolutely.
maybe support you as well. How do they do that?
You go to newnote.co.uk, and on the opening page you can click here to sponsor Dan, and that will get you straight to my sponsorship page. And we're trying to raise £1,000 for the orchestra.
Good luck. Well done. Have a fantastic run.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy it. I'm sure you will enjoy it.
I'm going to nail it.
Cheers. That's it for breakfast.
Serving Sussex.
On FM.
Online.
And on DAB Digital Radio.
This is BBC Sussex.
Danny Pike coming up after the news at 9. We'll see you tomorrow from 6.
It's 9 o'clock.